Today, our topic is In the Science of Habits, how to make good ones stick in. Habits are the small decisions and actions we repeat every day, often without thinking. They shape our lives, our health, and our happiness. But why are habits so powerful? And how can we make good habits stick while breaking the bad ones? Let's dive into the science behind habits and learn how to use this knowledge to improve our lives. Habits are like the invisible architecture of our daily lives. Think about it. When you wake up, do you brush your teeth? Do you check your phone? Do you have coffee? These are all habits. They don't require much thought because they become automatic. But how do they become automatic? The answer lies in a simple loop that scientists call the habit loop. The habit loop has three parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is what triggers the habit. It could be a time of day, a place, a feeling, or even a person. For example, feeling stressed might be a cue to bite your nails or eat junk food. The routine is the behavior itself, like eating a cookie or scrolling through social media. The reward is what makes the habit stick. It's the positive feeling or benefit you get from the behavior, like the taste of the cookie or the distraction from stress. Over time, this loop becomes stronger and the habit becomes automatic. The key to making good habits stick is to understand and use this loop to your advantage. Let's say you want to start exercising regularly. First, you need a cue. Maybe you decide to put your running shoes by the door so you see them every morning. That's your cue to go for a run. Next, you need a routine. You go for a run. Finally, you need a reward. Maybe you treat yourself to a smoothie after your run, or take a moment to enjoy the feeling of accomplishment. Over time, this loop will strengthen, and running will become a habit. But what if you want to break a bad habit? The same loop applies. Let's say you want to stop eating junk food when you're stressed. First, you need to identify the cue. Is it stress? Boredom? A specific time of day? Once you know the cue, you can change the routine. Instead of eating junk food, maybe you take a short walk or do some deep breathing. The reward might be the same relief from stress, but now it's tied to a healthier behavior. Over time, the old habit will weaken, and the new one will take its place. One important thing to remember is that habits don't change overnight. They take time and repetition. Studies show that it can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days to form a new habit, depending on the person and the behavior. That might sound like a long time, but don't get discouraged. Even small changes can make a big difference over time. Another key to making habits stick is to start small. If you try to change too much at once, you're likely to get overwhelmed and give up. For example, if you want to start meditating, don't start with an hour a day. Start with just 5 minutes. Once that becomes a habit, you can gradually increase the time. Small steps are easier to stick to, and they add up over time. Consistency is also crucial. It's better to do something small every day than to do something big once in a while. For example, if you want to read more, it's better to read a few pages every day than to read a whole book once a month. Consistency helps reinforce the habit loop and makes the behavior automatic. Another tip is to make the habit enjoyable. If you don't like running, don't force yourself to run. Find a form of exercise you enjoy, like dancing, swimming, or playing a sport. The more you enjoy the behavior, the more likely you are to stick with it. You can also make habits more enjoyable by pairing them with something you like. For example, if you hate doing the dishes, listen to your favorite podcast while you do them. This way, you'll start to associate the habit with something positive. Environment also plays a big role in shaping habits. If you want to eat healthier, make sure your kitchen is stocked with healthy foods. If you want to watch less TV, move the remote to a different room. Simple changes to your environment can make it easier to stick to good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. Social support can also help. If you're trying to form a new habit, tell a friend or family member about it. They can encourage you and hold you accountable. You can also find a group of people who share your goal, like a running club or a book club. Being part of a community can make the habit more enjoyable and give you a sense of belonging. Another important factor is mindset. If you believe you can change, you're more likely to succeed. This is called a growth mindset. It's the idea that you can improve with effort and practice. On the other hand, if you believe you're stuck with your current habits, you're less likely to try to change them. So, cultivate a growth mindset. Believe that you can improve, and don't be afraid to fail. Failure is part of the process. Every time you fail, you learn something new. Finally, be patient with yourself. Change takes time, and setbacks are normal. If you miss a day or slip up, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track as soon as you can. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. In conclusion, habits are powerful because they shape our daily lives. By understanding the habit loop cue, routine, reward, we can create new habits and break old ones. Start small, be consistent, and make the habit enjoyable. Change your environment, seek social support, and cultivate a growth mindset. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. Change is a journey, not a destination. With time and effort, you can make good habits stick and create a life you're proud of. So, what habit will you start today?